Hi. A couple of things I'd just like to talk about tonight. One question that I've been asked many times over the course of my career, and now on YouTube it's been asked a couple of times, is when I'm making a knife painting, do I use a brush? Now, my answer up until about 3 years ago has been unequivocally no. If it's a knife painting, I use a knife. Now, of course, when I'm washing it in or staining the canvas, I'm just scrubbing it in general colors, and it's so thin, I'm not worried about being too accurate in the composition or values or even colors for that matter. So then I'll use a brush, obviously. Also, I have a brush that I use specifically for signatures. I'll use it for nothing else. Other than that, I'll use a knife. That was my answer up until, as I say, about 3 years ago. More recently, I have begun to use a small brush, not a tiny little brush, but a smaller brush to sometimes carve into smaller branches or be more accurate when cutting in around a branch. Like, for example, around a couple of these branches in this particular painting, I just found it easier, more convenient to take the brush and dab this bit of color here and here and against this brush. That's what I did. That's the only place on this painting the brush has been used. And in that case, I even still taken the knife and slid it over the brushwork a little bit. Even if I zoom in on it with the camera, you're not too likely to pick up on the textural difference between the brush and the knife. Anyway, it's cheating. No, it's not cheating. I'm not being. There's no infidelity involved here. I've been doing this long enough that I have mastered the ability to make small spaces with a knife as well. It just becomes a bit of a pain. I'll just do it with a brush now. Don't need to use the handicap anymore. Something else. Regarding plein air painting, I've never been a person to take canvases outside, anything of any size, because where I live, we get rain frequently, the weather's unpredictable frequently, and we have wind, and I don't want a large sophisticated plein air painting setup. I have a very simple easel. I want to keep it that way when I go out. The most I'll do probably is a 12/16, usually wood panel, maybe sometimes a canvas. I call them my panels, my studies. I never really go out and finish a painting on site. So I'll go somewhere, I'll paint it, I'll bring it home, I'll do it very quickly. Even if I'm doing a study here on the studio easel, I'll do it very quickly, just to get the gist of things down. If I do things quickly, for me, for the way that I approach my work, I find that I end up with something that has more motion, more movement, more emotion in a way. I like that a lot in a painting. So that's why I do it that way. Once my study's been done, I set it aside. I know I refer to it as laying around the studio, but it's not. It's in the studio. When it's in the studio, I see it every day for a week, sometimes for months. And over that time, as I keep looking at these things, referring to them, I come up with different ideas how to maybe make the study, how to make the study into a larger canvas, or how to turn that study into an actual good painting, or how to turn that study into probably pretty good firewood, actually, because of all the oil. It's like waxwood or wetwood. Makes good kindling. The point is, when I'm doing these studies, I take them very seriously. I'm not flippantly just throwing my strokes on. I put a lot of thought into it. You don't see that on camera. But I'm a very thoughtful guy when it comes to constructing something. And I have often made the most thoughtful, horrible pieces of work. And the odd one I'll show, but I'll try to keep them more interesting and show more successful pieces. Anyway, I recently did what I call a 7-minute painting. I revisited it. I had it sitting around the studio for actually I think about 10 days. I kept looking at it because there was something I liked about it. I put an additional about 20 minutes into it, and I was very happy with the results. But it's not because I just threw it on my canvas and slapped it together to finish it. It's because I'd spent all that time looking at it, revisiting it in my head. And by the time I put it back onto the easel, it went very quickly. Things went well. Very happy with the result. So that's an example of a little study, the quick 7-minute painting, but came together very quickly. I can't tell you how many 10-hour stints of painting I have done that have ended up as firewood, just garbage. So you kind of have to hope for the best average. That's what I do. Because if you get too worried about it, you get too fixated on everything has to be perfect. For me, painting would not be the joy that it is. It wouldn't be the fun and the adventure. It would just kind of get too stressful. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Hope you all have a good night. Yeah, this is the painting so far. I won't get into that until it's done. It's close enough now that I'll talk to you pretty soon about it. Hope you have a good weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. And please give me a thumbs down if that's how you feel about things. Anyway, keep smiling. Talk to you soon. Bye.